All right, you made it to part 3. We're going to do the wiring, programming the computer, and then I'll tell you what I think of the kiln. I've been working out of it for a bit now, so my likes and dislikes and all that. So let's get into it. Let me show you how I wired it all up. And I'm going to put up the wiring diagram too. When you buy one of these, it's a Rex C100 off of eBay. They have the wiring diagram right there. So I'll put that up on the screen as well for you guys to look at. I wired it the same as this wiring diagram, except for I just interrupted the lead and put in a switch so that you can turn it on and off. All right, so you can see the plug coming in here. We got green is ground, black is lead, and the white is neutral. So the ground just gets screwed right to the case. The lead gets divided into two. One goes to your element and the other goes to your switch. And then that off the switch, it goes to your computer right here. Then your neutral goes to the relay and then comes off of the relay to power the computer. The computer also has to send signals. So these are your two signals on the back of the relay. Those go to the computer. And then you have the outgoing of the neutral that goes to your coils. And then the thermocouple is wired directly to its own spot to the computer. So it's pretty simple. You just follow the wiring diagram, and like I said, there's a switch in between that and the computer. So when I turned the kiln on for the first time, it was obvious that it wasn't reading the right temperature. So the following is what I did to get it in the right temperature range and make sure that the kiln was reading that temperature correctly. So I'm going to try and determine what temp is the annealing temp. I got this little jig set up in there. It's basically a rod of 4 mil with 2 rods of 20 mil supporting it and then one in the middle weighting it down. So I'm going to see if I can make that slump. So I'm turning it on. I'm going to set the temperature to 8, I think. So I reached 800. My rods in there aren't slumping. I think I'm going to go up to 9. 900 now. Looks like it has a slight bow in it. Probably hard to see. See if it's slumped the teeniest bit, because I can roll it on a flat piece of graphite. If it's got a little slump in it, it will roll funny. And you can see no longer wants to roll nice. It definitely slumped it. That means I am above temp right now. So I'm going to reset this thing. The brand new rod. It's hot as fuck. All right. Close the doors. Going back down to 8. So when I went back down to 800, I let it sit for a bit. The rod didn't slump, so I knew that that was right around the annealing temperature. Let's turn it on. And I have it in Fahrenheit right now. One of the drawbacks of this cheapo thing, this was 17 bucks with the relay and a thermocouple that I didn't use. But still, it was really cheap. It works. But some of the drawbacks are it only will read 999. So if you have it in Fahrenheit, you can't get it up to temp. The other thing which I found with mine is it's off, and that might have been because I bought a different thermocouple. It's really not ideal because I think it's only going to read correct temperature when it's basically around the temp it needs to be. So it's not a big deal. It will work, but it's $17. So really, and your next step up to get something really nice would be like 200 bucks. And it came with the relay. I mean, I bought relays before that were $30. So this was half the price of a regular. So you get what you pay for, sort of, but it will sort of get the job done. This is the manual. These are the menus it can get into. They're a little confusing, but I've found the couple that are pertinent to what we need to do. So I'm going to show those right here. So from my previous tests that I showed, I think when it's at 800 Fahrenheit, it is actually at the correct temperature. It's somewhere around 1050 at 800. It's reading off. So we can adjust that though. So that's what I'm going to show right here. But first, I'm going to put it into Celsius. You got to hold these two keys down until it says COD. There we go. Now you go 1, and then hit the menu button again. Now we keep hitting the menu button until we get to unit. So that's unit right there. So we want it on 0. So this is now putting on Celsius. I got the temperature set for 565, which is the equivalent of 1050 Fahrenheit. Since this thing will only read 999, you have to put it in Celsius basically to read the right temperature. Part of the downfall of a $17 controller. So the temperature was off by a bit, but you can fix that by just going into this menu here. You hold that down and then you keep pressing it until you get to SC, which is sensor correction. And I think mine is off by a good bit, which is not really ideal, but again, this thing is cheapo. And when you first start using it, it's gonna go up and down like wildly. It's gonna go over the temperature by a good bit and then under the temperature by a good bit. And the way you get it to run nicer is you have to run an auto tune. And this one's pretty easy. We're just gonna hold this down, go in this menu till it says AL1. We hit it again, and that is the auto tune thing. And if you want it on, you just set it to 1 and then hold down the menu again. And there we go. See this blinking green right there? That shows you the tuning. And it will take a little while. So you just have to basically run it, and eventually that blinking thing will turn off, and that will show you that it is tuned. And at that point, it will stay at the temperature you set it pretty closely. It'll go up and down by a couple degrees. For the most part, it will hold that temperature. All right, kiln's done. It's roughly at temperature. I've been working out of it for a bit, so I know it's basically working because my pieces are coming out and they're not slumping and they're not cracking. So, but I bought a pyrometer already for 17 bucks off of eBay, so I can actually test and figure out precisely what the right temperature is. But for now, that'll do. And you know, for $17, you know, what can you say? Otherwise, you're spending like 200 some odd dollars, which I probably will do eventually, but I just had to get back working again. Yeah, the kiln works pretty good. I really like I need to build a little bar coming off here to rest the points on. But other than that, I really like the construction of it here. Yeah, these doors are just like nice. They just flip like that. I'm really stoked with the way the doors work, which is really important for a glass blowing kiln. That's one of the huge differences that from a regular kiln to a glass blowing kiln is having doors that are nice to work out of. And these are great. They just, you know, if you gotta get in the whole thing, no problem. You made it to the end of the video. Thanks for watching, y'all. Hope that helped some of y'all out. If it did, remember to like, sub, leave a comment. Any of that helps me out and will help me going into the future to make more videos that will help you guys out. So I appreciate y'all for watching. Until next time, Dirty Beat out.